Hello, Standard 7th. This is the lesson Bringing Up Kerry. The lesson is Bringing Up Kerry. Okay? And who is the author of this story? The author of this story is Dhan Gopal Mukherjee. Who is it? Dhan Gopal Mukherjee. And the chapter is from the alien hand. An alien hand. Okay? Bringing up Kerry. Kerry is you can say, an elephant. Baby elephant. Okay, that is good story. Firstly, we would see something about the author, means who was Dhan Gopal Mukherjee, what did he write, when was he born, education, his other collections of books and all. And further, we will see what is the story about, and then we will move to the main context of the story. Now, about the author, I told you who is the author of this story. The author of this story is Dhan Gopal Mukherjee. Dhan Gopal Mukherjee. Okay? Dhan Gopal Mukherjee was born on July 6th, 1890. He was born on July 6th, 1890 in a jungle village near Calcutta in India. Okay, Dhan Gopal Mukherjee was born on 6th July 1890 in a jungle village near Calcutta, India, and he was the son of Kishori and Bhuban. Goswami Mukherjee, you can say. Okay, Kishori and Bhuban Mukherjee. Now, if we talk about Mukherjee's studies, education, then in 1908, Mukherjee studied in the University of Calcutta. He then relocated to Japan, where he went to the University of Tokyo in 1909. Okay, means he started his studies in 1908 in Calcutta, in the University of Calcutta, and then he went to Japan. He relocated in Japan, and then he went to the University of Tokyo in 1909. A year later, the 19-year-old Mukherjee moved to the United States. Now, further he moved to United States and attended the University of California, Berkeley, in 1910 to 1913. He earned his graduate degree with Stanford University in 1914. He then taught for a short time at Stanford as a lecturer in the field of comparative literature. Means with his studies, further he also become a lecturer at Stanford for a very short time. Okay, over the next few years, Mukherjee published plays. Means further, when he completed his studies and education, he started writing plays, poems. He wrote with Mary Caroline Davis, Chintamani, a symbolic drama in 1914, adapted from a play by Girish C. Ghosh. The play Laila Majnu in 1916. The poetry collections are like Rajni, Songs of the Night in 1916, Sandhya, Songs of Twilight in 1917, and the play The Judgment of India in 1922. Means here are some of his collections which he wrote. Okay, whether it were in the form of poem, whether it were in the form of plays, dramas. Then in 1918, he married Ethel Ray Dogan. Okay, she was an American teacher, and the couple had a son named Dhan Gopal too. Further, we are looking on the books. Let's have a look on the book. Huttner, Gordon editor, Immigrant Voices, 24 narratives of becoming an American, Signet in 1999. Gaynek, The Story of a Pigeon, Dutton in 1927. And periodicals, if we talk about Child Life, he wrote a book named Child Life in June 2000. Now these were the different collections and something about the author of this story or author of this lesson, Bringing Up Curry. Okay, now let's move first an introduction about the story, that what is the story about, and then we will move to the main story. The story of Bringing Up Curry takes up through the life of the narrator. Narrator means the one who has written this poem. This story is related with his life. He is talking about an incident which happened in his life. Okay, the story of Bringing Up Curry takes us through the life of the narrator who has a baby elephant. Now here the Curry is a baby elephant. Okay, and he was named as Curry. Curry, you can say. The boy grows together with Curry. Okay, now the elephant and the narrator means the boy. Here the author is talking about his childhood. Okay, the elephant, the baby elephant and the author both grew together, and through this story narrates his experience. Now in this whole story, the author is trying to tell us about his whole experience. What did he experience while growing with the elephant? The story is very sweet narrative and that makes us grow fond of Curry. Okay, means while we will read the story, as we will move with the story, we would be fond of Curry, the elephant. The relationship of narrator shares with Curry is pure and sweet. Means in the whole story, the narrator is going to tell about the relationship of him and the elephant. Okay, the Curry lives taking bath in the river and the author takes him to the morning bath to the river. The friendship of Curry and the boy is endearing, so say the least. Means the incidents which the narrator is the author is sharing with us in this story. Okay, we would be very fond of to listen about it, to read about it. On one day, Curry, the elephant, pushes the narrator in the stream only to save another drowning boy. But slowly, when the elephant comes to know that the narrator could not swim, then Curry, the elephant, ends up saving both of them. This is also one of the incidents which we are going to see in this story. He also mischievously steals bananas and learns a lesson for doing wrong thing. Curry learns many other tricks as the narrator keeps teaching him along with the final master call. Means by what words, using which words do the narrator teach the elephant? Okay, we will also see some of the mischievousness of the elephant in this. Okay, let's move to the main story now. Let's start the story. Bringing Up Curry. Curry was an elephant. He was 5 months when he came to the author. Curry lived in a pavilion. Pavilion means, what is a pavilion? Here the pavilion means not the pavilion which we see in the cricket stadium. Okay, here the pavilion means the place where the elephant is being kept. Okay, an open space, you can say. A summer house or other decorative building used as a shelter. Okay, pavilion every time doesn't mean that it is a building in the cricket ground. Fine. So, starting with the story, Curry is an elephant. He was 5 months old when he came to the author. Author means here Dhan Gopal Mukherjee. Okay. Curry lived in the pavilion. It was under a thatched roof. Now what is a thatched roof? You can see I have shown you. Okay. The roof which is been made of grass and straws. Okay, and it stood on 4 stumps. Tree stumps, you can say. Kari bumped against the poles as he moved around, about the enclosure, yet the poles didn't give up. It was so because these poles were made of thick tree stumps. Okay, Kari enjoyed this morning bath in the river much. He would lie in the water for a long time. On coming out, he would squeal with pleasure. Now, what is squeal? Squeal means to trumpet very loudly. Okay, after the bath, the author would leave him on the edge of the jungle. He would himself go into the forest to get some twigs for the elephant's dinner. It took a long time. First, the author would sharpen his hatchet. What is hatchet? Hatchet is you can say an tool. Okay, Hatchet. Okay, hatchet means, and small axe you can say with a handle. It is a tool to cut the wood. So, sharpen his hatchet, which took half an hour. Then the author had to climb trees to get the most delicate and tender twigs. Doing all this naturally took a long time. Okay, now here it is telling that who was Kari? Kari was a 5 months old when he came to the author. He lived in the pavilion. Pavilion means, I told you, it is an open space outside the house. Okay, but Kari was kept under a thatched roof. Okay, and that thatched roof was made of straws and grass, and it stood on the tree stumps. Okay, Kari would many times try to bump that poles out, but it could not. Why? Because it was made up of thick tree stumps. Okay, Kari loved to have morning bath in the river. He used to lay in the river for the long time inside the water, and when he used to come out of the water, he used to squeal. Squeal means trumpet very loudly. After that, the author used to leave him so that he could dry himself, and the author used to go inside the forest to collect some twigs. Twigs means very delicate, you can say delicate, TWIGS. Delicate piece of, you can say, woods, like delicate green sticks. Delicate green sticks. He used to collect that sticks for Kari, the elephant, the tender woody shoot growing from the bark or the stem. Okay, so the author used to leave Kari and go inside the jungle to collect the twigs for the elephant. Firstly, the author used to sharpen the axe, the hatchet. Hatchet means a small axe which is used to cut the wood. Okay, and it would take half an hour for him to sharpen the hatchet, and then he used to climb the tree, and from that tree he used to collect delicate and tender twigs, which used to take a very long time for the author. Okay, now this was the daily work of Kari and the author. Slowly, Kari and the author became good friends. Kari and author became good friends, but Kari once pushed him into the stream. It was to save the life of a boy. He saw a boy lying on the bottom of the river. He dived and pulled the body of the drowning boy to the surface. However, the author was not a good swimmer, so he could not come ashore. The current began to drag down. Kari saw it. He came fast into the water. The author caught his trunk. He pulled both the author and the boy shore. Now, what did Kari do one day? One day, when Kari, I told you Kari was very mischievous also. Okay. So, what did he do? One day, he pushed the author inside a stream. Why did he do that? He did that because Kari had seen a boy inside the stream. The boy drowning at the surface of the stream. He wanted to save that boy, and so Carrie pushed the author inside the stream. But Carrie didn't know that the author did not know how to swim. Okay, so when Carrie saw that the author had started drowning, he saved both the author also and the boy who was drowning in the water. Carrie saved both the author and the boy at the shore. Okay, then about the mischievousness, if we talk about, Carrie was only 5 months old. The elephants have a very huge body. They look very big, but the baby elephant, Carrie was like a baby. Like a baby, he had to be told when he was naughty. Whenever you are naughty, your mama, the elder ones, grandma, grandpa, they scold at you or they tell you that don't be naughty, don't make mischief. Same happened with Carrie. He was baby and sometimes he used to do mischievousness. So he had to be told when he was naughty. He developed a taste for banana. Okay? Carrie liked the taste of banana. Okay? He had to be trained to be good. Now, as he liked banana, he was very naughty also, as I told. He had to be trained. Okay? If you did not tell him when he was naughty, he was up to more mischief than ever. Means if Carrie was not told that you are doing naughtiness, you are doing mischievousness, don't do it, he would increase his mischievousness. For instance, one day somebody gave him some bananas to eat. Very soon he developed a great love for the bananas. Okay? Someone gave him bananas to eat, and after eating that bananas, he liked it. He liked that banana. We used to keep large plates of fruit on a table near the window at the dining room. Now, here the author is telling that in the author's house, there was a dining table, and on that dining table in the dining room they used to keep the plate of fruits. Now, Carrie had eaten banana. Someone gave banana to Carrie, and after eating that banana, Carrie liked bananas very much. So one day, all the bananas on that table disappeared. Okay? One day what happened? The author saw that the bananas which were there in the plate had disappeared. The family blamed the servants. Now nobody had seen who had taken that bananas or who had taken that fruits. So who were blamed? The servants were blamed. Okay? The servants were blamed for it. A few days later, the fruit disappeared again. Now it happened after some days, again the same thing happened. Okay? This time the blame was put on the author itself. Now this time the blame was put on the author, that you are the one who must have eaten this fruit. Okay? And author knew that he did not do it. When the author was blamed, the author knew that he did not eat that fruits. Now the author also started thinking that if I have not taken the fruits are not there on the table, who has taken it? It made the author very angry with his parents and the servants. For the author was sure that somebody has taken, they must have taken, means here he is telling that his parents must have taken or the servants must have taken the fruits and they are blaming on him. Okay. The next time the food disappeared. Again, the third time the fruits again disappeared. And now, this time the author found all smashed bananas in Carrie's pavilion. Okay. The large plates of fruits were kept on the table in the dining table, and Carrie, how did Carrie take that plates? Carrie would put his trunk through the window and take the bananas. In one attempt, he would take them all. Okay? He would then quietly go to the pavilion. There he ate the bananas at peace without being seen. Now, who was the thief? Who stole the fruits? The fruits were stolen by Carrie. He would then quietly go to the pavilion. There he ate the bananas at peace without being seen. Okay? And at last the author found the thief. And the author caught him stealing. Okay? How did author found that? Authors found a banana all smashed in Carrie's pavilion. Through this, author came to know that the thief was Carrie. This surprised the author very much, for he had never seen the fruit there, and you know that he always had lived on twigs. Now nobody could blame Carrie. Why? Because Carrie had always been lived on twigs. So nobody thought that the fruits must have been taken by Carrie. Okay. So next day, when the author was sitting in the dining room wondering whether he should take the fruit from the table without his parents' permission, as he was sitting, he saw a long black thing coming like a snake, suddenly came to the window and disappeared with all the bananas. Okay? Now only a black thing came through the window and took all the bananas. Looking at this, the author became very frightened because he had never seen snakes eating bananas. He thought that it must be a terrible snake that would sneak it and take the fruit. He crept out of the room and with great fear to his heart, he ran out of the house, feeling sure that the snake would come back in the house and kill all of us. Because the trunk had come into the house, the author thought that it was a big snake who had come to eat the fruits. Okay? But so the author ran out of the house. Okay, when the author ran out of the house, he went to the direction of the pavilion where Carrie had gone. When he went there, he saw that Carrie was eating bananas. He stood there. Okay, he stood there. The author stood there watching Carrie eating the bananas. Okay, and the trunk which he saw coming through the window was the long black thing which the author saw coming through the window was the trunk of baby elephant. Okay, the author went to Carrie and pulled his ears and showed his parents that it was Carrie who had eaten all the fruits these days, not the author. Okay, then the author scolded whom? Then the author scolded Carrie. Okay, he understood like a baby and did not steal again. When author scolded the baby elephant, Carrie, the baby elephant, he understood that he had done something wrong. Okay, he had done something wrong. Next time I see you stealing fruits, you will be whipped. What did the author say to Carrie? Author said to Carrie that next time if you steal anything, you will be whipped. Whipped means you will be beaten. Okay? He knew that we all were angry. Now, when the author scolded at Carrie, Carrie came to know that he had done something wrong. Okay? And he also came to know that all the people in the house are very angry. His pride was so injured that he never stole any another thing from the dining room. And from then, if anybody gave him any fruit, he always squealed as if to thank them. Okay? An elephant must be taught when to sit, when to walk, when to go fast and when to go slow. All these things are to be trained to an elephant. Okay, and as Carrie is a baby elephant, the baby, like babies, Carrie was also a very quick learner. Okay, Carrie learned Mali after 3 lessons, but it took him 3 weeks to learn Dhat. Dhat was the common command to sit, while Mali was the command to walk. These commands were taught to him just one teaches a child. As you children go to school, you have been taught sit, stand, walk, such kind of things. Such words are taught to the pet animals also. Here we are talking about an elephant. The elephant is also taught about this: when to sit, when to stand, when to walk. Okay. Carrie learned Mali after 3 lessons, but it took him learn Dhat. Okay. He was no good at sitting down, and do you know why an elephant should be taught to sit down? Because he grows taller and taller than you, then who take care of him. And so the elephants are meant to be sit. Okay. So that when he is 2 or 3 years old, you can only reach his back with a ladder, and it is therefore better to teach him to sit down and by saying Dhat, so that you can climb up his back, and you could, who could want to carry a ladder around all the time. Okay, so this is the thing that Carrie learned, and this is the mischievousness that we saw about Carrie. Further, the story has not ended yet. Okay. Further, the teaching of master call of an elephant is a difficult thing. What is it? The most difficult thing to teach an elephant is a master call. He generally takes 5 years to learn it properly. The master call is a strange hissing, howling sound, as if a snake or a tiger were fighting with each other. Okay, means it is an important signal for an elephant to learn. Which one? The master call. What is it? Okay. And you have to make that kind of noise in his ear. And do you know that what you expect an elephant to do when you give him a master call? If you are lost in a jungle, why do you have to give a master call? Why do you have to teach a master call? Because if you are lost in a jungle and there is no way out and everything is black except the stars above, you dare not stay very long anywhere. The only thing to do when is to give the master call. At once the elephant pulls down the trees in front of him with his trunk. Means if you are stuck anywhere, if you have lost your way in the jungle, this master call helps you. Okay, and if you are with an elephant, if you give the master call, what will the elephant do? The elephant will immediately start pulling down the trees in front of his trunk. This frightens all the elephants away. When an elephant is very angry, everybody is scared of it. Okay. As the trees come crushing down, monkeys wake from their sleep and run from branches to branches. Okay, and when will this happen? This will happen when a trained elephant understands it. Okay, when an elephant is being trained, and to give this training, it literally takes 5 years. Okay, and it is so because it helps an elephant to save the master's life. Sometimes they are lost in the jungle and there is no way out. Then the master makes a strange hissing, howling sound in the elephant's ear. A trained elephant stands it and at once pulls out the trees in front of him. Okay? This frightens all the animals away. Even a tiger is frightened with an angry elephant. The elephant goes on pulling down the trees one after the other. Thus a path is made out of the forest. Soon you will find that he has made a road right through the jungle straight to your house. So this is the master call. This is about the master call which we are talking about. Okay, the master call to be taught to the elephant, which would help you to save. Okay, if a master call is being taught to an elephant, the elephant can save the life. Okay, now after listening to the whole story, what is the conclusion? What have you learnt about? Let's see. The story of bringing up Carrie is a gentle, sweet reminder. What is the conclusion of this story? The conclusion of this story by Dhan Gopal Mukherjee is that the story by the name Bringing Up Carrie is a gentle, sweet reminder of how animals are also our friends, and they can even become more loving, brave, as well as sensible than humans in many situations. You know that our pet animals or any animals, okay, they all have emotions, they all have feelings as we human beings have. Okay, do you think that only the human beings are hurt when they are being beaten or when they are being injured? As a human being or as a baby, when you are not a baby or as a child, you can say, you are right now, you all are small. Okay, I think, or it must have happened that you must have harassed any animal, right? You have done this because of your enjoyment, but do you think that the animals also have feelings? It is easy for you to keep an animal in the cage, but think yourself at the place of that animal. If you are being kept in a cage, you would say, ma'am, I am feeding that animal. No, I am giving water, I am giving food. But if you are being done with the same, if I keep you in a cage, I am also feeding you. I am also giving you food and water and everything. Would you like it? No. Same feeling is there with the elephants, with the animals. They also like to be loved. Okay, they are also sensible, they also have emotions, they also cry. You know, animals also cry. If you love them, they can understand your feeling. You cannot understand their language, but they understand your language very easily. Try to love the animals and then see what they can do for you, rather than harassing them, rather than you can say, harassing only is the right word right now to tell you. Pulling their tail, pulling their ears, beating them with the stick, such kind of things. They also get hurt. They also have senses. They also have feelings, emotions. Right? So what is the conclusion of this story? What is Dhan Gopal Mukherjee is trying to say here? That this is a reminder of what? That how animals can also be our friends. If we love them, they can help us also. Okay, if you beat them, they can take revenge also. They are loving, they can even become more loving. They are brave and they are sensible also. They do have emotions and feelings also, and more than a human beings in many situations. Okay, so this is all about the story. We have seen the Carrie the elephant, in which we have seen how did Carrie grow with the author. Okay, how did Carrie learn different words? How did he help the author? How did he do mischievousness? How naughty he was? Everything we have seen in the story. And at last, the conclusion is that elephants or animals, you can say, not only the elephants, animals are also our friends. They are loving, they are brave, and as well as sensible, same as the human beings. Let's move to the word meanings. Moving to the first meaning is squeal. Squeal means a long, high-pitched cry or noise. Squeal means a long, high-pitched cry or noise. Next word is luscious. L-U-S-C-I. Luscious. Luscious means having a having a pleasingly rich sweet taste. Having a pleasingly rich sweet taste. Having a pleasingly rich sweet taste. Okay. Next word is hatchet. H-A-T-C-H-E-T. H-A-T-C-H-E-T. Hatchet. Hatchet means, I told you, it is a tool. Tool means you can say a small axe with a short handle. Hatchet means a small axe with a short handle for use in one hand. You can use it with one hand. Next is mutilated. M-U-T-I-L-A-T-E-D. Mutilated. What is mutilated? Mutilated means inflict a violent or disfiguring injury on. Inflict a violent or inflict a violent or disfiguring injury on. Okay. Next is lasso. L-A-S-S-O. Lasso. What is lasso? Lasso is a rope with a nose at once, used especially in North America for catching cattle. Okay. What is lasso? Lasso is a rope with a nose at one end, you can say. Especially this type of rope is being used in North America. Okay. Next is enduring. E-N-D-E-A-R. And enduring means inspiring affection. Enduring means inspiring affection. Next is pavilion. I told you pavilion here means not the pavilion which there is in the cricket ground. Okay. Here we can say a large tent type with a peak or a summer house. We can say it as a summer house which is in the out of a large garden. Okay. It is there in the large garden. A summer house or other decorative building used as a shelter in the park or the large garden. And here this pavilion was used for the elephant. Okay. Next word is thatched. What is the spelling of thatched? T-H-A-T-C-H-E-D. Thatched. Thatched means cover with straw or a similar material. Similar material means like grass, straw, okay, small twigs, okay, such kind of. So these were the word meanings: squeal, luscious, hatchet, mutilated, lasso, enduring, pavilion and thatched. Fine. I hope you have understood the whole story of bringing up the carry. How did the author carry the elephant? Okay. Soon I'll give you the worksheet related with this. You have to complete that worksheet. Till then, study well. Hope to meet you all soon. Bye.